need to be at the microphone or what? Tell me when to go. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ella Robertson. We're doing a self-defense class tonight at the Wahpeton College Auditorium. And we're just trying to bring awareness to our community on how to protect yourself. We've invited the Wahpeton Police Department. Mark Schindelbauer is going to give a small presentation on the reporting process, things to watch out for, the different programs that are involved with assault, and he also brought some samples of pepper spray and a couple other items. So he's going to be showing, here's the pepper spray. He's going to be giving our introduction first, because reporting is just as important as being able to protect yourself on your own, to making sure that when cases happen like this, that we are aware of the next steps, the process, and the things that we need to look out for. And all of this is a part of helping to keep our community safe. And so our instructors tonight are Sean Kaur and Danielle Dakota, and they're both trainers with self-defense. Sean is an instructor at the college, and Danielle is a veteran in the community. So thank you guys all for watching. And we have our small group here, and I'll have Mark come over and he can talk a little bit about the reporting process. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Mark Schindelbauer, Sergeant at the Tribal Police Department here. What I'm going to be going over is a few things. Mainly the definition of sexual assault. Also some of the statistics and the immediate actions you should do afterwards. So I wrote a few things down here. I'll go over real quick so they can get started with the actual physical techniques. Sexual assault takes many forms, including attacks such as rape or attempted rape, as well as any unwanted sexual contact or verbal threats. Usually a sexual assault occurs when someone touches any part of another person's body in a sexual way, even through the clothes, without that person's consent. Some types of sexual acts which fall under the category of sexual assault include forced sexual intercourse, such as rape, sodomy, oral sex, child molestation, incest, fondling, and attempted rape. A sexual assault in any form is often a devastating crime. Assailants can be bystanders, acquaintances, friends, or even family members. Assailants commit sexual assault by way of violence, threats, coercion, manipulation, pressure, and tricks. A little bit about some of the numbers. In 2000, 246,000 women survived rape or a sexual assault. 28 women every hour. So by the time we're done with this class, 56 women will have been sexually assaulted. 1 in 4 college women report surviving rape or attempted rape since their 14th birthday. A survey of female high school students found that 1 in every 5 girls had experienced forced sex or rape. Half of these girls told no one about their incident. Among disabled adult females, as many as 83% are victims of sexual assault. That's people all in our old people homes and care centers. The National Violence Against Women Survey found that rape is a crime committed primarily against the youth. Of the women who reported being raped sometime in their lives, 21% were younger than the age of 12. 32% were between 12 and 17. 29% were ages 18 to 24. And 16% were over the age of 25. Thus, 54% of the women victims were under the age of 18 at the time of the first rape, and 83% were under the age of 25. The National Crime Victimization Survey states that 78% of sexual assaults were committed by non-strangers, such as friends, acquaintances, intimate partners, or relatives. Strangers committed only 22% of the assaults. 55% of women involved in non-stranger rapes were drinking or taking drugs just before the attack. 60% of women who are raped by Caucasian males. 50% of the rapes happen on dates. Nearly 1 in every 4 women may experience sexual violence by an intimate partner in their lifetime. So heaven forbid it happens, but if it happens, this is what you should do. If you are sexually assaulted, it is critically important that you understand that no matter what you did, where you were, what time of day it was, or what you were wearing, the assault was in no way your fault. Sexual assault has little or nothing to do with passion, lust, or sexual arousal. It is primarily based on the perpetrator's need to control, dominate, and abuse or humiliate their victim. Survivors of sexual assault react in many different ways. The following, let's see where we're at here. Following the assaults, the first and most important step following an assault is to call a friend, a relative, partner, the police, or an advocate specially trained in assisting survivors of sexual assault. Don't keep it under wraps. Tell it to somebody. The decision to report a sexual assault is yours and yours alone. If you intend to report the assault to law enforcement, attempt to gather and preserve as much evidence as possible. And things we do not want you to do: do not shower, bathe, or douche. Throw away any clothes that were worn at the time of the assault. Do not brush or comb your hair. Do not use the restroom, brush your teeth, or gargle. Do not put on or take off any makeup. Do not clean or straighten up the crime scene. Do not eat or drink anything. And if possible, you should immediately record everything you can remember about the incident, such as physical description of your assailant, physical description of any bystanders, anybody that you've seen before the event happened, and anybody you've seen after, especially if you've seen your assailant with one of these people. Try to remember their height, weight, hair color, any scars, tattoos, clothing, or weapons they may have used. Try to get any possible witnesses before, during, and after the assault. Statements and voice characteristics. Anything they say, they keep saying while they're doing the act or trying to. Voice characteristics. If he has to cough every 3rd time because he's got a lung disease, note that. Any smells, perfume. Evidence of intoxication or drug use. Descriptions of any weapons. And details of the sexual assault activity. If someone you know is sexually assaulted, here are some of the things you can do to help. Always listen and do not judge them. Let them know they did what was necessary to survive, even if that means submit. You survived. Reassure the survivor that they are cared and loved. Encourage the survivor to talk about the assault with an advocate, mental health professional, or someone they trust, and let them know they do not have to manage the crisis alone. And with that, let our instructors take over. Any questions? We'll probably have some after we're done.
Oh, show them your deals.
Okay. What did you just... Well, what we'll be doing here is we'll be giving away some little cans of mace. And we've got a few of these high decibel whistles you can put in your purse or on a keychain. Extremely loud. Good attraction for something's going wrong.
Oh yeah, show me your keychain.
We also have what is referred to as a Wahpeton. It's a small plastic stick police first started using. Now they come up with this. It's called a manuno. Self-defense keychain. Just things you can keep in your purse or on your keychain. That'll be it.
All right, thank you, Mark.
Yep.
So, As you can see, I'm dressed in my everyday clothes because when assaults happen, you're not going to have an opportunity to go get on your best running shoes, your workout clothes, do your hair up. You're going to be dressed like this in your everyday stuff. And so you're going to be out of your comfort zone. So you want to, when Sean and Danielle come in, describe some of the techniques that you're going to be using, then do it with confidence. Because when you doubt yourself, that's when you give the opportunity for something more. And so when we're doing these, Sean is going to tell you, when you're doing these moves, keep on going. When you first start, keep on going. Follow through so that it becomes good practice, that you don't just stop soon as the assailant stops. And so he's going to tell you a little bit about that. And so, talking about assault, rape, those things are taboo in our culture, and it's hard to talk about them. But it's something that has really taken the forefront on Facebook and social media with MMIW, Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women. And so that's why we volunteered our time to come and provide this opportunity for the women in our community to learn how to defend themselves. And I'm happy to see that the president of the college is here, but also some of the basketball team has come and volunteered to help so that you have good practice with using your techniques, because most times your assailant is going to be bigger than you are. And so you're going to want to be able to practice these techniques and to do them with confidence and defend yourself. So I'll turn it over now to Sean. So he's calling our volunteers. We had to make sure they signed a waiver first.
So we're going to start off with Danielle demonstrating some of the vulnerable points, the pressure points that are available as far as defense goes. So I'll serve as her mannequin. She can hit all the pressure points to demonstrate where they're at.
All right. So with this, some of the pressure points that I'm going to be demonstrating, they're to stun your predator, to help you get enough time to get away, and run as fast as you can to get out of the situation. One of the, say for instance, one of the pressure points that I have here is somebody comes in, they grab you, for instance. So what you want to do is you want to try to figure out a way to get out of this. If he grabs you, you can either hit, you can punch, use your hand like this on the outside. The jaw is one of your most sensitive spots. It'll stun a person or knock them out, depending on how hard you hit. And for instance, if he was to grab me and I hit or I swing and I miss him, you have the chance to come back and hit in the nose, because the nose is like one of your sensitive spots. Another pressure point here is right up here in the shoulder. If you pinch, everybody knows this, you have that nerve there. It's a cord. Pinch it, it can stun somebody and drop them down to the ground.
So this is called the brachial plexus. So there's a big bundle of nerves right here on your shoulder, okay? And so you don't necessarily have to pinch. You can also strike with your elbow, with your fist. So if someone's the same size as you, I can come down and I can strike here this way. Okay? If I'm at a disadvantage and I can't get very far to strike, I can also come down with my elbow right here and strike this over and over that way. Okay? Or she said the jaw is a very pressure sensitive area. Okay? A big thing in offense and defense is your opponent being able to look at you. Okay? So if you use your forearm and you frame out and you keep this person away, not only are they not able to look at you, so I can use my other limbs to see what I can do and they can't see me, right? But it's also a very uncomfortable position, right? You can't do too much when your neck's crooked over this way, okay? So it doesn't necessarily have to be a strike to stun or to incapacitate, but just putting constant pressure, right? If we find ourselves in a situation where we're at a disadvantage, we always want to be aggressive, right? We always want to be moving forward, pushing, right? Making it uncomfortable.
One of the things that I was taught is that everybody's going to become like a ninja automatically, because what you do is your adrenaline's pumping, and the first thing you want to do is try to stay as calm as you can to try to remember that your elbow, your outside of your hand, and your knee, they're very sturdy, and they can give really good impact on anybody, where it can get you out of a situation.
So we kind of like to keep it just principles, right? So we're going to go through some techniques where you guys will find out it's a very fluid, very open-ended scenario, okay? So you kind of have to use whatever works, right? But if we're staying with principles, so there's the brachial plexus here, and there's also the radial nerve here, okay? So staying with principles, if someone's coming to grab this way and trying to pull, if I'm sitting here working on the hands, right, I get caught up and I'm still going, okay? But if I stay with the principle of the pressure point, knowing that there's nerves here, right, I might not necessarily be struggling here, okay, but I might hit, and get it loose enough so now I can back away, right? So just staying with that principle of knowing where they're at, right, and knowing that that's an effective spot. Okay? Self-defense is a one-person sport. Whatever feels right in the moment, that's what you do.
And another thing too is, say for instance, they have a hold of you. The thing is, use your elbow. You can come down like this, and what it'll do is stun them again, get them down, and then hit the back. Hit. Because that's another thing too, because your back, your spine has a lot of nerves in it too. So that'll also be another effective way.
So there's the brachial
There's 9.
here, right underneath the nose, this spot here. Radial. Okay. There's also what's called the parietal. It's off to the side of the knee over here. So knees, feet, elbows right here. Okay. That constantly works as well.
There's one right here on the inside of your arm. And that's another thing too, if you have to, elbow, because that will stun another, help you get loose.
So those are the easiest ones to access. There's a whole myriad of them out there, but those are the easiest ones to access.
The groin.
That's true.
That's another one.
That one too. That one also
So-
works. All right.
Okay,
So
those are
ready
your
to-
pressure points, yeah.
Try some techniques.
Sure.
We ready to do that? Okay, so we're going to go over the 4 most common techniques that we see. So I'm going to need to volunteer. Leno, are you down? I'm not going to throw you off. So the first one that we're going to do is just a simple bear hug from behind. Yeah, so if he just wants to come this way, right? So if nothing else, what I want you guys to remember from this scenario is to drop your weight. Okay? That's the number one most important thing, because what he's going to try to do is he's going to try and lift me up or try and drag me off, right? So go ahead, lift me up, drag me off, right? This way. So if I drop my weight down, see how I sit and I drop my weight? Okay, now try to pick me up. Go ahead. Much harder for him to pick me up and to drag me off. Okay, so if nothing else, okay, you're not going to get a whole lot of power out of your arms because he's got you trapped up tight, right? Not necessarily going to get a whole bunch of strength out of your legs either because he's right behind you, okay? So number one thing, drop your weight down. Makes it a whole lot harder to come on, okay? So he's going to grab behind. First thing I'm going to do, drop my weight, sit down, okay? There's a couple different ways that we can do this, right? So number one is if he's really, really close behind me, like where his leg's at right here, okay? And I drop down like this, I can just shoot my hands down and grab his leg, okay? Now, he wants to pull me back, right? We're gonna pull back. I'm gonna pull his leg with me. Okay? Reach down. Nope, go ahead, grab. Ready?
That's why you signed the waiver.
Yeah, I'm right. Okay? So that's the first one, okay? The further down you grab, like on the ankle, the more power you're gonna have coming up. Okay? Second one, okay? Same thing, I'm gonna drop my weight down, okay? If I can, I'm gonna get him steady, step off to the side, and now I'm just gonna sit down all the way. And now I'm gonna get out that way. Okay? Okay? Round of applause. So do you guys feel comfortable with trying that? We'll go over both. Partner up. Okay?
And don't be partners with like somebody you're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be all gentle with you. I'm gonna be partners with somebody, you know, 'cause it's all about self-defense. So, you guys wanna come over?
Come on over, guys.
You guys partner up with one of the guys. And you also partner with someone.
No, you guys need to partner up with the guys.
All right, let's do it. Throughout, you partner up and down.
One safety tip.
They'll be able to do it.
Yeah. Safety tips as you fix it going. Yeah.
And what's your name?
Carolyn.
Raquel? Yeah, why don't you go over here and partner up with me?
John, are you partnering with Sherry? We're out of our
No comfort zone here, so.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and, we'll show this one. Okay. Forward just a little bit here. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna come up,
So-
I'm gonna grab Sherry from
What am I
behind.
gonna do first?
Okay, so you're gonna step to the side and drop your weight. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, you're getting
Escalated. I'm not supposed to be dropping me. Okay, what do I wanna do
Yep.
first, really?
So step off to your right and drop your weight. Perfect. Now all the way down, you wanna squat.
Okay,
So when you come over, so bear hug here, you wanna squat in.
okay,
Just like the riding horse.
That way if he loses grip, then you can get out of the situation.
Good. Okay. Now,
Grab his
look
foot.
down, see my foot? Oh yeah.
Grab his ankle. Not too
to, the better off you're going to be. So it takes a little bit of like dexterity, right? So, but the more you drop your weight, the better off you're going to, the better off you're going to be. Okay? So, when I say to drop your weight, like this squat, it's kind of like how low can you go, right? So, try and squat down like as much as you can, and then that will get you closer to his foot. And when you step back just a little.
When you squat, step back?
Yep, just slightly.
Okay.
Just go.
You gave us slippers.
All right, let me help you out. Okay, so grab here, pull. There you go.
And then,
Like,
yeah.
and then pull it. There you go. Ready to try it one more time?
No, no.
Okay.
That wasn't an option. Good chat.
Go up.
Wait, no.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you grab her, grab around. Yep. Like you're gonna pick her up and run off with her. So next time squat down a little bit lower, because as you squat down lower, you'll actually be more stable. Enough. There, perfect. It's not gonna be. It's never gonna go lower.
You got it like.
Hold tight. Like so, if you're the person holding, right? We don't want to. Will you please come with me? Right? That's not how it's when you're making the right. Trap tight, right? And try it. Make off with it, right? That's what we're trying to go for. Okay. So, trap him tight. Drop your weight. Sit. Okay, so you're gonna step just a little bit to your right and drop your weight. Good. Keep it in reach.
I forgot. What do I do? What do we?
You're gonna fall back, so you might wanna switch around. Just flip back. Exactly, when you fall back.
Now, these guys. Well, we're gonna, if we can, I'd like to switch, and you guys grab down. So they get some practice with it too. Right? Oh, yeah. Well, not just that, but it's just, if you're in a bar and something happens, one guy will come up behind you and grab you like this, and the other guy's getting ready to like deck you, right? So, drop your weight here. You just want to bring that leg behind mine. Okay, you want to try it again? There you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Nice. That's how you want to do it. That ain't nothing. There's one where you actually like throw someone over the top. How are we feeling over here? Feel comfortable? Okay. So for the next one, we're going to be up against the wall over here. So this is your hit up against the wall. Okay? And someone's trying to choke you up against the wall. So I need someone like that. So main mistake is everyone goes against the hands, right? I'm backed up against the wall, okay? And I won't be able to get enough strength, especially if the person is bigger and stronger than me. I'm not going to be able to necessarily break it through. What I want to do is I want to put my whole body against her arms, or my assailant's arms. Okay? So to do that, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this hand all the way up, and I'm going to make my bicep touch my ear. Okay? If I just go like this, it don't work. Right? And if you guys come close, you can see why this helps. Like if you look at her thumbs, right? When I bring my bicep all the way up to my ear, it disrupts her grip. So she can't grip me as tight. Okay? So from here, what I'm going to do, come all the way up, and then I'm going to turn my whole body like I'm going to run to this wall. Okay? So I'm going to come this way, turn my whole body like I'm going to run to that wall. Okay? Now I've disrupted the grip, and I have both of her arms pinched in my arm. Okay? I still have a free hand. Now. Okay. So now I can use this hand to elbow, right? I can also grab here and knee, okay? And I can push away. Okay? So, and this is the one that Ella said, don't just kind of like, yeah, right? Someone's choking you against the wall, right? You want to put now as much space between you and this wall as humanly possible, okay? So as you do this technique, right, and you actually get this way, I want you to drive, 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 bicep comes up, touches my ear. Now, turning my whole body like I'm gonna run to this ball. Okay? If I just kind of like turn my upper body, it really don't work too much. Okay? I want to turn my whole body towards that ball. Like this.
And note how he moved his feet. So then his one foot was forward and his other one was back, so it gave him the ability to pivot.
Okay? So now, like if I want to sprint to this wall, I can. See how I'm lined up on this wall? If I want to sprint to this wall this way, I can. Right? Now from here, okay, going to elbow, follow it, start moving, knee, drive, and take my side. Okay?
Doesn't matter if you go one way or the
No,
other.
you can go either way. Just
Whatever is comfortable.
whatever way you're
Get
gonna run to. So if I'm gonna run to this wall, I'm gonna raise this bicep. If I'm gonna run to this wall, I'm gonna raise this bicep. Right? So it just depends on which one you're gonna run to. Makes sense? Okay, so we can't get everybody on the wall at the same time, but let's get like two. And then Miguel and Mark.
Oh, yeah.
There's a whole bunch of little points, yeah.
Lift your arm all the way up,
Yeah.
and then you want to twist your whole body, and then that way,
Now, have you ever played football before?
drop your arm down.
So, when the football in the line,
Don't forget to grab, don't forget to, Danielle, don't forget he has to grab the,
right?
with
You
his
have
other
to get
hand.
lower, right? I have to have my side or
And then you come down,
right? You try to push.
and then you can kick.
Same principle applies here. When you come this way, okay? See how I'm lower than him? So I come this way and I push
Yeah.
up.
You can, your arms up, twist your whole body, come down.
I'm already.
He's being nice. Too much of a nice.
Remember, you want to elbow to like the head.
Push. Get some space. There you go.
Now vice versa. Okay, so when you bring your arm down,
Feels like you mean it, Carolyn.
yeah, you like this, right? Arm up. There you go. And twist your body. There you go. See? There you go.
Elbow.
Bam. There you go.
Now you wanna make sure, this is the one where we're saying we wanna make sure you do the follow through. Because you're not gonna
Get
be
that
given.
person like.
Grab their hand.
And then remember to bring your elbow.
And then you're gonna drive him. You're gonna drive him back like two.
Oh, I'm trying this way.
Do you wanna do turn the other way then?
No, I want you to drive him back.
Make sure it's straight up. Now turn your body and bring your elbow and your arm down.
Drive. Push him. Here, we'll do one more. I'll show you one more time. feel like the difference? Because when it really comes time to get somebody off of you, that's what it's gonna take.
Especially if you can't reach their face. Squat down.
Jared?
Drop down.
Look so disgruntled.
I got grandsons.
I'll take it. Okay. All right, excellent. So the next one is actually laying on the ground and someone has you pinned down to the ground. Okay, so bad situation for us to be in.
You're always the guy that's down.
Yeah. Hold on. Doesn't really matter. You can.
Even though
Be
Mark's the cop
choking.
in this scenario, Sean is the victim.
So, obviously, this is in a really bad position, right? So, what I need to do is get him up. So, if he's gonna be choking me, I got about 10 seconds before I black out. If you're,
Maybe
yeah.
you guys.
You're in good shape.
If you're in shape.
If you're good, you got about 10 seconds. Okay. So as soon as you get this, once again, everyone worries about the hands, right? If he's on top of me and putting his whole weight, okay, and he's got how much you weigh? 230. Okay, 230. I weigh 147. So if he's got almost 100 pounds on me, I'm not going to get as strong as he is up top. Okay. So I want to get him off the top and off to the side. Okay? So what I want to do is, you see my feet? I'm going to bring them all the way up by my butt. Okay? Getting as close as possible. Right? Now, when I have my hands here, okay, I can trap his hands so that he can't use them to brace himself.
Start pushing me down.
Right? Because as I start going up, right, his first thing is to do that, to give himself balance. So when I trap here, okay, now he doesn't have that there, okay? Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push my hips up as far as I can to the ceiling, and I'm gonna go to one shoulder or the other. Now, it doesn't matter which way you go, we got plenty of room on the mat. You can go to your left or your right. To me, it's just more comfortable to go to my left, okay? So I'm gonna go here, push away, then go back. Okay? Most important thing is get out of the way. He did a really good job at trying to keep me there. As soon as I get like to here,
Did you hit him?
Yeah, you can,
yeah.
if you think so.
So I mean, it's up to you, right?
If it was life or death, like what would you do?
Yeah. Right. So yeah, if I'm here and you can try and keep me like when we go over, right? So because when I go over, he's not going to just casually let me up, right? He's going to want to keep me on the ground. Okay. So once I go here, I'm going to go over this way. He's trying to keep, right? Right? And then getting on that.
That was a shot to the groin.
Yeah. Yeah. You can count that way. For sure. Okay? So that's how you hop out of that situation. It works the same way if they have your wrists pinned. Okay? If they have their wrists pinned up above you, okay, you can still go one way or the other. Okay? You can just grab their wrist and swing over one way or the other. Okay?
Just set them off once you push your hips up.
Yeah. Right? As soon as you buck your hips up to the right, if they're really, really top heavy and you buck your hips up, they're either going to go this way or they're going to overcompensate and come back and give you room to work with. Right? But when you go, pretty much you're going to go. Okay? Try that one.
Hope your partner carries.
Okay.
I'll come way down to it.
Stay
Oh, you go across?
They supposed to be standing up like that? No, you're supposed to be.
Yep, like this. Okay. My neck is up here. You're on my
Bring your feet closer to your butt.
Okay.
Probably show them how high you put your legs up.
Yeah, like
So, guys, the most important part of this exercise is how close I get my feet to my butt. Okay?
Watch how top heavy I am too.
So, right? So,
See how I'm here?
So if he's here, right, and I just bring my legs like a couple inches up, and I go, he ain't gonna, see what I'm saying? He ain't gonna go anywhere, right? I don't have any leverage, okay? Once I get my feet up close to my butt, and then I go, see how much higher I can get them off the ground, right? So that's the number one key to this technique, is getting your feet close to your butt. It gives you more leverage to shoot up, okay? And even just without him on top, right? I can go this way, okay? That's about how high I can get here. When I come up here, right, and then I go up, see how much higher I can get?
Sean, so if a person is on top of you and they're starting to strangle you and having difficulty, how much time do you actually have before you're gonna start,
Like about 10 seconds.
before you start losing consciousness?
Before you're unconscious completely. Yeah.
Really?
10 seconds and you're unconscious completely. Yeah.
That's if they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
If they don't know what they're doing, you're probably gonna have a little bit more time than that.
Right. Yeah, but it's really quick. Wow. Right, that's, like, we drill this over and over and over again so that it's just automatic. Because as soon as you hit that, if your brain's freaking out and you're, that's gonna make it worse and you go unconscious quicker, right? But if it's automatic, over, then you're all right.
Crisscross, crisscross. There you go. Oh, crisscross like this?
Crisscross, applesauce, there we go.
There you go.
And now, when you roll over, okay, so you guys are doing a really good job of like being nice to your captor.
I know, right? Let's do this all of you.
Right? Because we're not trying to hurt each other, which is totally like kosher, right? Go ahead and hop up, right? But when he's here, okay, when you notice when I kick him off to the side, I use him to get up. I use his body to help me up, right? I'm not going to be nice to him because he's sitting on top of me trying to choke me unconscious. So why would I be nice to this guy, right? So when I go here and I go this way, right? See how where my elbow's at? Right here, okay? Now, I'm not going to be like, and make it more uncomfortable for myself to try and get up, okay? I'm going to push off of him and get up, right? You stay down on the ground, I'm getting the hell out of here. Thanks, man, appreciate it. Okay? So when you do this technique, use your opponent when you come over on top, like with your elbow or your hand, push them in the face, push them in the neck, right? If your elbow's sitting there, elbow him in the chest and then push off and get away, okay? Because you're not going to be nice to the person you realize. Now that doesn't mean with your full weight, like slam
so
them over and like go up.
Another round.
Huh?
Do another round then.
We'll do it one more time?
Yeah. This time make sure.
that was the subtle way of
use him so that you can use him so that you can. Everyone feeling better, I guess, after that last using that person? Right? So the last one is a choke defense. Okay? So instead of doing the bear hug, right, coming up this way, trying to go backwards, right? We're actually up here. We're coming back. See what I'm saying? So now we're over this one. So once again, there's a couple different ways that we can do this. Right? So the first one. Lane, how you doing? So I'll let you'll actually like do the throw on me. So I'll show you how to do it. So when he comes up this way, okay, coming around, what I'm gonna do is just same thing. I'm gonna drop my shoulder, okay? I'm actually gonna pinch right here. Okay? Now notice how much lower I am than him. Like here, like lower than his center of gravity. Okay? Now I'm just gonna lift up. See how he's off the ground? Okay? Now, sit. Shingle back, okay? You don't have to be a very strong person in order to do this, right? You're like what? Right? So once I get here, okay, and I swing down this way, as long as I'm lower than him, I can handle a whole lot of extra weight. Okay? It sounds weird, but you're gonna pop it like the girls in the videos. You're gonna pop up this way. See how I get them off the ground? Okay? Now, what you do from that point is once you get up here, okay, now you just drop your shoulder and they come down to the ground. Okay? We're not actually gonna do the throw. They will do the throw on me. Okay? There's like a whole part of training where you just learn how to fall. Okay? So I'm up this way, okay? So he's going to drop his weight down, spot, drop your weight down, okay? Yep, pinch over there, okay? Now come up, over the weight. Okay? Just like that. That's how it goes. Okay? Okay? So it seems like really advanced, but once you make that little adjustment and you go up and you feel the person come up, it's really easy. Okay? It's just simple body mechanics. It's just physics. Okay? You guys remember like a fulcrum and lever from physics class? Okay? Just the lower back becomes the fulcrum. Okay? And then you let gravity. Okay? Ready to try it?
Okay. But I'm scared.
Come this way. I'll come this way.
Are you left-handed? Okay.
easy. The lower that you go, the more leverage you'll have to bring someone over the top. Okay. So, basically, like I said, you have to grab, pinch that arm in your bicep. Okay. You're low here, and then, like I said, it's just like popping it like girls in the video. Pop your butt up. Okay. And they come right off the ground. Okay. It's your whole body to lift that person up and over. Okay. That's what I know. So, you guys are ready? Give it a shot. So he's gonna come. Yep. So he's gonna come over this way. Okay. Now you're gonna grab. And as you grab here and you step. Good. Now you can see how you can push that out. Okay, one more thing, guys. So, when someone grabs, okay, what you want is no space. Okay? If I'm all the way out here, I won't have any leverage. I want like no space between me and
For some reason,
when I sit down, I drop my weight. I come in a little bit closer. Right? Now,
you can decide you're either gonna grab his leg or just get it up right up in there. There you go.
So we're gonna grab here. Okay. So you're gonna step a little bit over this way. And drop your weight. Okay. Now, come back up.
You can be almost too tall for it to work. Because he's just bending down. So this is what you want.
It's a little bit different.
Don't move your thing.
So,
Try to
what I want to do
I'm the same height as you. Are you?
Yeah.
The same height as you, bro.
Probably with him.
It's really trying to do that.
Because this one, you could just switch and go for the leg. Can't do that? Grab it. Actually, grab it.
So, here's what we're going to do.
There you go. See?
It works. It does.
So, now you want to... There you go. Everyone just try it. You want to try one more time? You got it? Yeah.
Yeah, pinching, what's that technique?
So,
Like, what is it?
so it's probably like over this way, right? So, okay. So when you step over,
Pinch right there.
and then drop the shoulders down. There you go. Okay. And like come up and then right there. See that? Yeah. So that was exactly that. Now what you get is move. How much it is a little awkward.
So you have to like really get it in.
Yeah, it is a little awkward at first. Okay? But essentially what I'm trying to do is, like, a lot of times what I see is people try to, fit, like, the attacker, right? No. You're going to fit me, right? That's like the mentality that you're going to have. No, I'm going to put your arm where I want it, right? So, because he's going to be going back like this, he's going to be pulling back. So I have to get here.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So this shoulder kind of comes up, this shoulder comes down, and I feed his arm right where I want it to be, right? His limbs are anywhere I don't want them to be, okay? So once I come here and I pinch, and I'm low, now I can just, right? So don't try to fit, like, don't try to make it easy for the other guy. Make it easy on yourself, okay? So when you're here and you drop, you go up like that, now you're with that's it for the four, that's the four main ones. It's just to jump from behind, to grab from behind, pin up against the wall, and then while you're pinned on the ground. Does anyone have a question? Or does anyone what's like, what if this happens? Yeah, what if questions? I actually have a really good question about hip mobility, right? What if you don't have very mobile hips as far as like being pinned to the ground? Okay? What else can you do? Mark, you want to come over? Okay. If I don't have very good hip mobility, there is one other thing I can do. It's not as quite as effective, okay? But it does still work. I've done it before. Okay. Yeah, right here. So, okay. I'm still going to do the same thing. Okay. When you're flat on your back, you're not in the fight, right? So I want to move off to my side. I'm going to use my whole body to swing off to one side. And if you guys look where I put my elbow, I'm going to wedge my elbow between my body and his leg muscle, okay? So I'm going to come off to the side and I'm going to wedge this, okay? So come off to the side, wedge just like that. Now, it serves a twofold purpose, right? A, it gets me off in just a little bit. B, it moves this side of my neck, right? So he doesn't have access to this artery. Okay. What makes you pass out when someone's choking you is you don't have blood flow going up to your brain. They pinch both the carotid arteries, and you no longer have blood flow going up to your brain. And that's what makes you pass out, right? So if I can get here, push this way and loosen this up and get this side, this keeps me conscious, right? So now as he's trying to kind of like get back to like a dominant position, right? We can kind of do this dance, right? But essentially what I want to do is keep working my way until I can get up to here, okay? So if you're not able to really butt your hips up, you can just lay flat and kind of work your body out that way. Okay. That's another option if it's not working. Any other what if questions?
Maybe run through your pressure points one more time. Just as a reminder.
Pressure points? Okay. That's, and then one other thing, if we can. So a lot of times when we're in bad situations, we, because it's awkward, we stand off, right? So if Terrell's gonna like push me over, a lot of times we're standing like this. Okay, so go ahead and push. Push. Yeah, there you go. Just like you're on the court, man. Someone just fouled you, said no blood, no foul. Push me back. There you go. Okay. So when my feet are straight across from each other, it makes me much less sturdy. Okay. When I have one foot in front of the other one, okay, now I'm trying to push it. Okay. I don't fly back. Okay. Do it again. Okay. So you're much more on your feet when you have one foot in front of the other. Okay. Now the other thing is we kind of like you see this all the time. Like people are standing like this, and then their hands are out like this. Right? It's a bad situation to be in. Okay. So the other thing is having your one foot in front of the other one, and having your hands here. Okay. When you show your palms to somebody, it's submissive. You're saying, I'm not a threat to you, okay? Especially if you have your palms out this way. But when you show palms, because what you're saying is, A, my fists aren't clenched, so I'm not trying to hit you, right? And B, I'm not holding anything in my hands, right? I don't have a weapon to hurt you with, okay? But it's a real good space to be here, so if he throws a punch or something, right, my hands are up, so I can put them in front of my face, okay? So if someone's talking and they're being aggressive, right, you can say, look, dude, I'm not asking for any trouble or anything. Like, everyone just calm down, right? Nothing has to be, right? So to him, I'm backing off, I'm not being aggressive, but to me, I'm thinking 3 steps ahead, right? If he pushes me, my leg's already back. If he tries to hit me, my hands are already up on my face, okay? Notice how I change my posture a little bit, right? My shoulders come a little bit more forward, okay? So if he does, I can get in close, okay? A lot of times, fights don't turn into more than like a shoving match, right? Especially in bars or nightclubs or anywhere there's security, right? Security's gonna come break it up, okay? So if I'm here and he just starts throwing, right? I can usually like close the distance and I can push him off me, okay? Just like we did up against the wall, okay? When I'm attacking, I want no space, and when I'm defending, I want to create space between me and my opponent, okay? So I'm attacking, no space. When I'm defending, I want to create space, okay? So momentarily I attack, but I'm also creating some distance between me and my aggressor, okay? So, hey, no problems, going in, right? So you can avoid a lot of situations just by doing that, okay? And then situational awareness is another big factor, okay? So there's stupid people, stupid places, stupid things to do, and there's stupid times of day. Never be involved with 2 or more stupids at the same time, okay? So, some example of some stupid places to be, right? Bars, nightclubs, shady fight rings, I don't know, fight clubs, right? Okay? Not a good place to be, right? And if I'm by myself, then that's definitely not good, right? So, not saying don't go out and have a good time, right? But if you're going to a bar, surround yourself with people that want the best for you, that are like true fans, they're gonna look out for you, they're gonna make sure they prevent you from, you know,
Running trails alone.
yeah, running trails alone, another perfect one, right? Always go with a partner. Okay?
Or let somebody know where you're at.
Yeah, right? Or even just if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're walking down the street, right? At 3, like nothing good happens after 12:30. Nothing good ever happens after 12:30 a.m. Okay? Walking alone, like walking home from a bar, right? Walking just in general at 3 a.m. in the morning, okay? It's not necessarily like the best idea, okay? Everyone's got that one friend that either they're always looking for trouble or trouble always seems to follow them wherever they go, right? If you're with that one, I see people looking, I'm like, yeah, I know that guy, right? If you're with that one person and you're at a nightclub or something like that, right? That's a very bad situation to be in, right? So stupid people, stupid times of day, stupid places, stupid things to do. Never be participating in 2 or more of those things at one time and set yourself up for failure.
Another thing that I always say is keep your head on a swivel, which means, it was a term that I used in the Navy, because no matter what, you're always gonna, you don't know if you're gonna walk into a propeller, a jet intake, or anything. Or, so like when you're out in a parking lot, know your surroundings. Actually, sometimes I carry, well, when I'm in a parking lot of Walmart or anything, I carry keys in between my knuckles. And I do that just, it's automatic for me all the time. But you always gotta be aware. Don't be on your cell phone walking, texting, because that there is just putting yourself up for a really bad situation for somebody to come in and be a predator to you. And that could be in any parking lot. For instance, in Sioux Falls, the situation, the girl was in a parking lot in Walmart, and she was abducted. We don't want that to happen, so always be aware of your surroundings, and don't be on your phone as much when you're walking. I mean, you can get in your car and text after you lock the doors. You know, I mean, just be smart about everything that you do.
And and just to piggyback on that, a lot of times you can diffuse a situation just by verbal or by body language, right? So the intent of somebody is really different, right? If I'm walking towards Jerry, right? If I'm walking, right? The intent of that is very different than if I'm walking like this, right? And what her reaction was to, right? But a lot of times people are looking for more of a target. Okay? They're looking for someone who's not going to resist them, or they're not going to put up with violence, right? So a lot of times when someone's walking towards you like with a sense of purpose like that, right? Just simply speaking up, hey, can I help you with something? You're not being necessarily rude, right? But I raise my voice, okay? And if I turn to look at him like, hey, can I help you? Right? A lot of times that just creates a split second, like, well, maybe there's going to be more conflict here than what I want to do.
Because you want to remember too that if you don't know somebody and they're approaching you, even to ask you questions, you don't owe them anything. You don't have to talk to them. You can avoid the situation by just walking the other way and being like, I don't want to talk to you, or something. You know, just make them aware that you don't want to talk to them, because you don't owe them a time of day, because you don't know them. You don't owe them anything. And then another thing too is women or guys with long hair, they're wearing your hair in a ponytail or in a bun makes you for an easy target for somebody to walk up behind you and pull your hair. That's a good way to get you off your feet. That was another thing that I wanted to bring up, was that, you know, I wear my hair in a ponytail all the time, but I always want to know my surroundings. That's why I always say keep your head on a swivel, so that way you know who's out there and who's close by.
All right, well, if you guys don't have any other questions or anything, then that's all we have for you for this class. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Hope you guys learned some stuff. We have surveys over at the water. Please help yourself with some water, stay hydrated. I know like I'm sweating right now. So
And
I
then
guess
Officer
you guys
Shinbar
are
has
too.
pepper spray. that he's
Yes,
gonna
and
be
then
handing out.
Officer Shinbar has pepper spray for everyone.
Something really good to have on you when you're out running, because I know a lot of you ladies like to go out. I'm the same way. Like to go out and run or walk. It's good to always have it on you when you're going out, even on the trails. That way you have something to keep yourself, distance yourself. Okay. Those are extras.
So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for the participants for coming. And we just hope that this event, and if there's others more that are coming in the future that are like it, to make our community safe. Thank you.